Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Raph from B&C Camera, and in this tutorial video we're going to be discussing a little bit about setting up a multi-point flash system. So we're going to go ahead and go over shooting with different channels, groups, how to basically do all that. So if you guys want to go ahead and learn a little bit about that today, stick around. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to set up some channels and groups. Okay, so I have two cameras here. I've recently been shooting this big bad boy here with my little X100V camera. It's a lot of fun. I've gotten surprisingly a lot of really great results from it. But basically a lot of common questions that we get here at the store basically is how the heck do you set up channels and groups? The first major thing you want to do, of course, is get a trigger. This is the Godox trigger right here, right? This is the X2TF for Fuji. Each little letter is going to denote the brand. This one's C for Canon, right? So we're going to attach the X100 here, and the cool thing about this system as well is, so if you have another shooter that does Canon and stuff like that and they have a Godox trigger, I'm going to go show you guys as well once we're done here that you can basically daisy chain and bounce off of each other's strobe systems if you guys want to share and run around and basically utilize one flash, two flashes, or a multi-point flash setup. Okay, so the first thing, let's go ahead and get this guy here, take off my little shoe, my thumb grip shoe. Then we're going to attach this guy on here. Perfect. Okay, so basically the first thing you want to know is what channel and what group are you going to be set to. Now to set the channel, it's going to be different for each system. For the trigger, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is hit menu, go all the way down to your channel, hit set, and then change it to whatever you want. Now, this is probably going to be standard for most trigger systems, but sometimes they're going to be scattered throughout. Good case example, so now we're set to channel 1. Set that, cool. Next to the menu. Great example is the flash systems. In order to set the channel, if you look at the V860 that I have right here, we're already set to channel 1, but all you got to do is hit CH for channel, and it's going to change it. You can dial it to whatever you want. It goes up to 32. Alright. Good. So let's check out my 8200 for example. So I went ahead and cleaned it up, fresh slate. You can either go off of what the settings are already set to the strobe or light, or you can set it up yourself if you're going to be working with the other people in the production group, or if you're working with other people that are in production in one place, like say for example a event, convention, etc. It's always good to kind of have a designated channel and group to where your people are going to be using your flash system. Okay, so looking at this strobe, this 8200, we're set to channel 1 up top right here, right? Channel 1, and then we are at group A. So basically I also set this up to TTL. Now you can also shoot manual, multi, which is again multi-point flash. In this case, I just like to shoot TTL just to keep it simple. I'm still learning how to shoot manual, but yeah, so TTL basically stands for talk through lens. And what that basically is going to do is it's going off of what the camera's settings are for the best possible light. It's very simple, very rudimentary. I'm going to show you right now, actually. So again, just keep in mind we're on channel 1, group A. Right? Now we're going to go ahead and go to our trigger here, kick this guy on. Now as you can see, I've already kind of primed it. We're already set to channel 1 right here. We're going to click on group A, right here, and it's going to be highlighted. Now we're going to select the mode. Okay. Now we're going to be playing off of TTL, so that's good to go. Now like I had mentioned earlier ago, TTL is very rudimentary. All you got to do is bump the exposure up. It goes up to +3 and -3. -3 being darker, +3 throwing out more light. So say for example you're out during the day, bright flashlight, +3. If you're indoors, you just need a little bit of light to basically illuminate your subject. You can bring it down a little bit more in the negative values. Again, kind of just bracket and just take some sample shots just in case, so that way you can find the best possible settings for your strobe or light. Just to kind of showcase to you guys, let's go ahead and dial it up all the way to +3. Okay, so here we are, +3, right? Boom. And go ahead and hit that again. We are on channel 1. This is group A. Again, just to show you. Channel 1, group A. The next step is to test fire. So, the test fire, It's going to be this little lightning bolt right here. Pretty standard and typical for most flash systems, most triggers. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and try it out. There it is. So at first I hit it once, it didn't fire off. So again, just kind of click it again just to make sure. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the system to pick up. Once it does though, there you go. Okay. Alrighty, so now if you want to go ahead and do a multi-point setup, you can go ahead and grab your other flash system. Here's my Godox V860 that I use for my Canon EOS R6 that I use for weddings. Now say for example, I want to use my Fujifilm camera, even though this is a C, right, for Canon, this actually has master and slave functions. So let me go ahead and show you. Typically, if you want to control this light, you want to set it on this orange icon or this orange light, and it's going to say slave, right? It's going to say that. Same thing, group, channel 1. Cool. So there we go. So it should be primed as well. So now, check this out. Now they're both going off. Ooh, that's bright. Kind of blinded myself there. Now they're both going off at +3. And yeah, you're going to be throwing a lot of light out. So again, +3 is going to be useful for outdoor situations on a bright day. Now if you need some fill light, you can do a setup like this where you can kind of set the speed light down low to fill in some light and fire it off just like that. Now say for example you want to control each of these lights independently. Now what you're going to do is pretty simple. So we'll keep this set to group A, right? And then we are going to set this bad boy right here to group B. Now it's real simple. As you can see here in the bottom, you have group and channel. All you got to do with this system is you got to hit group. And now we're set to group B. Now it's going to work independently and we can basically control it with the trigger. So going into our trigger, kick this guy on. Now we're going to go ahead and hit and select B, B. And then we're going to get mode again, and we're going to do TTL. So now these two are working independent of each other based off of whatever exposure you want. Now if you want to say for example have a little bit of fill, not a whole lot, set it that way, and now there you go. So it's not as apparent. If I really want to, I can crank it all the way down to negative values, right? Just for a little smidge of light. And there you go. Woo! Again, it's gonna play off of this controller right here. So again, just kind of adjust everything. The Godox X2T supports up to 5 groups within one channel. So again, a 5-point lighting setup, you can set that up no problem. And again, to kind of test here for you, just to showcase to you guys that it does work. Now, say for example, if you're with a friend or a buddy and you guys are working with just, this and they have a strobe, you can basically move it around so that both of you guys at the same time can be utilizing the light system to your advantage. If anything else, let your buddy know to kind of test fire the strobes as well to make sure everything is good, right? Cool. And there you go. Alrighty, and that's all there is to it when it comes to a multi-point lighting setup. Again, kind of consider what channel you're going to be working with during the shoot and whatever light you're going to set, what group that light's going to be set to. Again, situations are going to vary based off of what you're trying to do. But of course, if you're shooting outdoors, again, kind of have a really strong light, set it to +3 value if you're shooting TTL. If you need a fill light, you don't really need a whole lot of extra light. You can change it from there. There are advanced features on this controller right here. You can also do things such as ratios. That's another advanced thing that I'll probably go over during another day. But for just standard basics, just to kind of set everything up, get everything going with channels and groups, that's all there is to it. Okay, and to just discuss a little bit about products, the Godox lineup is great. I utilize it myself predominantly for a lot of my professional work, for portraits, weddings, this and that. This 8200 Pro right here is actually really great. It's super small. It's not breaking the bank. The V860, I've been using this. This was actually my very first speed light. This is good to go on top of your camera system. Kicks out a lot of light. And now for portrait work and stuff like that, or if I'm doing street stuff, I can utilize this on the ground, point it up to kind of do some fill light. Again, I don't really kick it up that often. So yeah, just having this portable setup is really cool. On the more higher end, you can get stuff like the 8600 Pros. Of course, you can set that up in the studio. You'll probably have nice soft boxes on each side to really get that nice glow without, of course, overexposing your subject or having harsh light. So again, yeah, Godox, I love it. They're super inexpensive, great quality, can't go wrong with it. So if you want to check out the full listings of what we have in terms of Godox, you can always check it out online on our website at bnccamera.com. Of course, if you're out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, you can also come by to the shop where you can go ahead and test and play around with the lights if we happen to have the time. So definitely swing on in. And that's all she wrote. If you guys happen to have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. We'll get to them when we can. Again, it can get pretty complicated, but you know, just again, stick to TTL, understand your channels and your groups, and you'll be good to go. If you found the video helpful and informative, please be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Of course, I'm none other than Raph from B&C Camera, and I'll see you guys in another video.